a telecom industry veteran with a remarkable career spanning over 30 years. Mrs. Gunjan Dave.
When we talk of 5G, in fact, Government of India realizing the importance of the spectrum which would be needed by 5G services.
It's really incredible to hear how you manage these challenges, Mrs. Gunjan. And your approach really highlights the importance of adaptability and strategic thinking in such a dynamic field.
We have to be fully prepared to handle cyber security. And see, main aim of all those hackers is the financial implications.
Hi everyone, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, brought to you by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. In this exclusive podcast series, we bring you face to face with some of the most influential leaders driving change and innovation across industries. Today, we have the honor of speaking with Mrs. Gunjan Dave, a telecom industry veteran with a remarkable career spanning over 30 years. From shaping national telecom policies at the Department of Telecommunications to leading transformation initiatives at MTNL Mumbai, Mrs. Gunjan has been a key architect in India's digital infrastructure. Mrs. Gunjan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charu. And it's really a good, very nice introduction. And yes, I have worked for more than 30 years in telecom field, and during the journey, I also got to work in different areas pertaining to telecom, like policy formulation, then compliances, regulatory compliances, then within MTNL planning, procurement, installing exchanges in the mobile technology, broadband technology. So in fact, I have worked in so many different fields, and also in fact I saw from the mechanical exchanges, the transition from the mechanical exchanges to the latest technology, digital exchanges, then mobile switches, voice over IP, ion switches. So like it has been a great journey from my side. I feel that I could uh, go through a whole lot of technologies and different types of areas while working in my career.
That's great, ma'am. We'll get more into that just in some time. So, for the audience in this episode, we'll dive into a wealth of experience, uncovering valuable insights on governance, leadership, and the evolving telecom landscape. So, let's get started. So, to start, Mrs. Gunjan, I'd love to hear a bit about your journey. You did speak a little about what have you done in your career. So, if you can just take us through your journey, what has been the most exciting or unexpected part of your career so far?
See, when joined the service, I was first posted in maintenance of the small maintenance of the exchange, like which was a digital landline exchange, E10B.
Right.
In those days, E10B exchanges were the transition from the mechanical exchanges to the digital exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
And then after working there for a brief period, I was put into planning unit, where in those days the waiting list used to be long waiting list, more than 10 years also for landline exchange.
Oh, okay.
And it was a big task to ensure that the waiting lists are reduced as much as possible. We give
Possible.
a lot of connections
Right.
to the target. So planning was a very important part in those days, and I was put in the planning where we had to plan for the new exchanges, plan for the interconnectivity of the different exchanges, plan some of the
Right.
support units also where the waiting lists were small. So like we had to it was a very important task which
Right.
we were doing. In fact, I remember once we had commissioned 5 new exchanges in one day of
Wow.
1 lakh of lines of
Connections.
so it was a I feel it was a great achievement on the part of
Absolutely.
MTNL to
Absolutely.
commission so many lines in one day. And then from there I moved, after working there for nearly 7, 8 years, I moved to digital trunk exchange. Actually,
Mhm.
in those days, if you remember, we used to have manual trunk exchanges.
Sure.
We used to just put the telephone calls through. So
Right.
this was a digitized exchange based on at that time based on the latest technology. And
Right.
I was supposed to set up this call centers in 5 places in MTNL, and not only set up the call centers, train the agents, train the operators. And in those days, the number of operators used to be huge. So maybe
Right.
my unit, there were more than 5,000 operators working.
Wow.
We have to train those operators. Then we have to ensure the infra for them, because there were guidelines. There used to be night duties. So what
Of course.
all those requirements had to be
Right.
fulfilled. So it was a like difficult job. And moreover, in those days, unions used to be into picture. A lot of
Sure.
unions were there, and
Yes.
we have to handle the unions also.
Right.
It was a difficult task, and it was a bit challenging also, because uh, managing human beings is very difficult. It's
Very
easier
difficult.
to manage
Absolutely.
machines than manage the manpower, but still it gave a lot of satisfaction, because now also I meet people sometimes on the road, and somewhere near some office, then they will say ki, "Arey madam, you helped us in
They
getting."
recognize you. Yes.
They recognize, I don't recognize, because we did not try to help individuals. We
Absolutely.
used to make for policies so that in general people are getting
Right.
benefit.
Right. Right.
So then I moved to IT, and I feel IT was the turning point for me, because
Okay.
I had done M.Tech in computers but never got a chance except write
Chance.
few programs here and there in planning unit. So that was actually I got a chance to learn a lot there, because in
I'm sure.
IT technology keeps on changing very fast.
Right.
You have
Right.
so many things to do. I did planning of the projects, procurements for the equipments for the project, as well as for access equipment for MTNL different units. Then handled and installed those projects, maintained databases, maintenance management of databases for different systems. Uh, like there was such a lot to learn. Then towards
Sure.
later part of it, cyber security came into picture.
Came on. Mhm.
Audits, we started security audits, risk management. So I feel it was a very fulfilling experience for me. And working in IT helped me to get handle jobs in other units
I
also,
think it was
because
right.
things were getting digitized. So that helped,
Mm-hmm.
because that understanding helped to work in other units also, wherever I got posted
Right. Right.
later part of the career.
Wow, wow, that's so inspiring, Mrs. Gunjan, and it's so fascinating to hear how your journey has evolved. And it's clear how much experiences have shaped the way you approach leadership today. So, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
So, Mrs. Gunjan, you've spent so much of your career working on spectrum management, policy formulation, and ensuring telecom operators comply with the ever evolving rules. And these are the areas that, we know can often be filled with complexities and tight challenges. So reflecting back on your journey, could you share some of the toughest moments or key hurdles you faced when it came to ensuring compliance?
Yes, actually, see, when I was in MTNL, we were supposed to do the compliances for the all the rules and
Right.
instructions which DOT had issued. And there itself, I faced like this issue I faced when I was in MTNL, and when I went to Gujarat's to head the Gujarat unit of DOT for compliances. And there I noticed that one simple thing is customer access forms. So
Mhm.
DOT initially, when the mobile services started, everybody's main aim was to get as many connections as possible,
As
without
possible.
bothering what form customer is filling, what is being what documents
Right.
giving. So just issuing the connections was the main target. So when DOT issues the guidelines that you do the verification of forms and verify the customers, then we found that there were so many non-compliances and irregularities.
Sure. I'm
Like
sure.
one photo will be there on hundreds of forms.
Oh,
Women's photo on men's form, men's photo on women's form. They will change same photo, different Photoshop se different kuch karke they will put. Or
right.
sometimes, in fact, we found even newspaper cutting, wo jo obituary mein, like
Oh my God.
obituary mein whatever comes, no, that thing they will just tear it off, stick
Uses
it on
that.
forms and thing. So in those days, forms were not even digitized. So
Right.
we had to actually start the process of digitization and start to ensure that such things don't happen in
Do
future.
not happen.
And similarly, when I went to Gujarat, we found ki these things, like leave aside these things which operators have to handle. There we found that when we used to get some forms for like just verification purposes from the operators, and we found in this Gujarat unit that some of the cases even Aadhaar numbers were faked, and we are issuing connections based on that. Like now
That.
offline connections are being issued, online forms are being filled, and there, like, it was noticed that even Aadhaars have been faked. So this was a very, very complex and difficult task to ensure the
Absolutely.
compliances, in fact, both from
Absolutely.
the operator side as well as from the regulator's side, or
Right.
from the DOT side, ruling
Right.
body. Then next, if you see, then there were like next issue is like setting up of mobile towers. Now there are guidelines that some sort of that radiation limits have to be this much, and in India we are very stringent. So
Mm-hmm.
initially the we were even 10 times more stringent than the global guidelines.
Okay.
But in between, some movement started that radiation is affecting the health, and it was becoming difficult for the operators to get places for
Places.
installing the towers. Many places the
Right.
towers were in fact disconnected or shut down by the like municipal bodies also, that
Bodies.
this
Oh,
is
okay.
harming. So in fact
Right.
DoT had did a good job. They started customer awareness workshops, and
Okay.
different parts of the, like, different people from different parts of the government bodies, then general public, um, uh, from education center sector. So from different sectors we used to invite them, and sometimes online, sometimes in on a physical basis, and try to educate them ki, like, this is not harming. The
Humming.
level of radiation which is there is not harmful. And the
Yeah.
DOT also was formed. When I was in DOT, there was committees formed to study the radiation level,
Radiation.
best
Mm-hmm.
measures to maybe improve upon it, because for
Right.
5G we needed to install a lot of towers, and if
Absolutely.
such stringent radiation limits are there, then the operators have to install too many towers, and it becomes financially difficult for them. So that was one thing. Then, like, there used to be a lot of cable thefts when I was in MT, and I had
Yes.
to handle
Yes.
that. In fact, all the operators are handling this
Mm.
type of, they are tackling these issues of cable thefts as well as cable damage due to
Okay.
all sorts of developmental activities,
Activities. Right. Right.
and how you have to plan your ways to ensure that the services are not disrupted for too long. So all those things are in fact very important. And when the cyber security audit started, then we found that, like, it's very difficult. It was very difficult to initially explain to the people how important it is.
It is.
So we had to do a lot of trainings and awareness drives within the organization to um, explain, to make them aware that this is important. So you have
Right.
to actually implement the different measures which are being told to you to implement.
Right.
It was
Right.
like there were so many things. When I went to DOT, then spectrum also has become a very important thing. Somebody wants spectrum for satellite, someone wants it for mobile services, someone wants it for Wi-Fi services. So spectrum is very limited. Defense services, different ministries also want it for their works.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then how to actually manage the spectrum is a very
Right.
important task. And so that was one thing which was very difficult to handle.
Difficult. But you manage them, right?
Yeah, actually, you have to manage, you have to see that needs of all the people are fulfilled. at the same time, we have to see that the services are able to,
Right.
manage the services also.
Wow, wow, it's really incredible to hear how you manage these challenges, Mrs. Gunjan. And your approach really highlights the importance of adaptability and strategic thinking in such a dynamic field. So when you talk about spectrum and, since you say that it's limited, so prioritizing what comes first and how, who to allocate the spectrum to first. I mean, this all takes a lot of strategic thinking from your end. So, and you've managed this so well. So, kudos to you, ma'am.
Thanks.
So, Mrs. Gunjan, given your extensive experience with spectrum management that we talked about, and especially in navigating the complex compliance challenges, I'm curious, how do you see the emerging technologies like 5G changing the landscape of spectrum allocation and utilization? And it feels that we're on a brink of a major shift, and your insights could really shed light on what's to come.
So, actually, when the 5G services were about to be launched, the government did an auction in 2023 and allotted lot of spectrum for 5G. In 5G operates in three bands: low band, middle band, and mid band, and high band. So
Okay.
they allotted spectrum in all the three bands to the operators, and it so happened that the operators are using more of low band and mid band. So, because it is easier to operate in those bands, and they are more popular bands.
Right.
So, it so happened that now the spectrum in low band is more or less over. There are
Okay.
different bands, but then when you are allotting bands for some particular service, then you have to see whether that band is suitable for that service. There should not be much disturbance due to environment or other things. Then you have to
Right.
also see whether the band is approved by the ITU for that particular service. Then third, whether the band is available, because the bands, spectrum bands are utilized by different ministries, different organizations for different works like satellite,
Right.
defense,
Right.
like other ministries,
Mhm.
railways. So that you have to see. Then also you have to see whether the device ecosystem is available in those
Right.
bands. So now, spectrum once has been allotted to a greater extent, and the operators are free to use that spectrum. However, we are like from the DOT side, still efforts are being made to reform the spectrum
Right.
wherever possible.
Mhm.
So that efforts are being made, and now 5G so far in India has been utilized only for broadband services. Like we are
Okay.
using the broadband part of it, but the 5G has
Right.
a lot of features. Like it can offer very high broadband, enhanced broadband speed, ultra low latency. It can offer massive device connectivity.
Mhm.
Then there are other advantages also: edge computing, MIMO, and then network slicing. So many options are there in features of 5G are there, which have so far not all have not been utilized so far.
Right. Right.
Wave. So all these features have to be like, if we want to really utilize those features for, like, there are so many services, so many use cases, applications are there where 5G can be utilized, like smart cities, smart factories, then automated vehicles, then automated manufacturing, remote surgery. So there are education, entertainment. So there are a number of applications where 5G can be
5G
utilized.
utilized.
And when the 5G is being actually utilized for those things, then we will definitely need more spectrum, because
Spectrum.
we will need more bandwidth, and we will have to use more features. So we will need more spectrum. And so this searching for the spectrum is going to be an ongoing job,
Yeah.
carving out spectrum for 5G. And now 6G also is also under
Oh.
studies. So
Okay.
spectrums are being developed for 6G. So once 6G comes, so spectrum would be needed for that also.
Wow.
So spectrum is a very, very important commodity, and all the operators, regulator, TRAI, and DOT, they are consistently making efforts along with other ministries to ensure that the spectrum is managed properly,
Okay.
is available for the new.
Right. Right. So As we are on the question of 5G, can I ask you additional question? I just had a thought.
Hmm.
We were talking about mobile tower radiation. So we've heard a lot about 5G also being causing health issues to health and environmental issues. So I just wanted to understand, is it just miscommunication, or people are scared of new technology, or there is actually some impact?
See, whenever a new technology comes, people will always not see the benefits. First, some people will definitely try to see how it could harm them.
Right.
So, actually, there are no truths because there have been no studies of WHO or
Okay.
throughout the world which has
Right.
really indicated that there is an harm.
Mhm.
Already there are some specific levels specified by the global authority, and those levels are being more or less adhered to in all the countries.
Right, right.
So as
So
long as
this
the
is just
levels are
clear
below
normal.
those limits, and moreover, 5G is operating in such high frequency that the coverage is not going to be very large. That's
Okay,
why we
okay.
need more towers. So when
Right.
you are going to need more towers, so and the coverage is not very large with one tower, by the time um, the signal strength comes to a particular level, it already the strength has gone down considerably.
Gone down. Okay, okay.
The signal strength has already gone down. So we
Hmm.
have a lot of different ways to provide the services in 5G, like MIMO.
Right,
So
right.
I think there are no truths to it that once 5G comes, there will be more radiation hazards. DOT has already conducted one study, and the study has not indicated any major impact.
Immediate impact. Great. Thank you so much for answering that additional question, ma'am. And hearing about how 5G is going to reshape the spectrum landscape, it's really fascinating to me. And it's clear that innovation and careful planning are the key to making this transition to 5G a smooth transition for everyone involved. So, Mrs. Gunjan, you have extensive background in cybersecurity compliance and fraud prevention, and it's clear that telecom services face constant challenges of these types. So, as we look into the future, what are some of those emerging threats that companies need to be ready for? I'm sure our audience would love to hear your thoughts on what's coming next and how businesses can stay ahead.
See, if we take the telecom side, then 5G is more or less open source based, and
Yeah.
we are using all sorts of IT protocols in 5G. So the threats do increase. Cyber
Right,
threats do increase, though so many now we have security by design. So the system design itself has security features incorporated, but still we have to be very, very careful. And now with AI coming into picture, and lot of data is flowing. So
right,
uh, security, and it's not that now security threats are from the edge. Security threat could be through any weak device in the link in the network.
right,
So
right.
we have to be very, very careful, and we have to be fully prepared to handle cyber security. And see, main aim of all those hackers is the financial implications. So
Right,
when a large amount of data is there, lot of sensitive information is there. So we have to be doubly sure that our systems are safe. And
right,
it's and when you are using some 5G is only a network of communication, but
right,
there are so many servers behind it, which applications are there which are actually using the data, which are using
right.
just 5G as a communication network to
Network.
provide the services.
Right,
So
right.
everything has to be protected in the chain. So we have to
Absolutely.
be very, very protective about our IT systems, our network, and then the communication links which we are going to use, whichever technology
Right,
we are using
right,
for
right,
communication. So the most important thing, like in DOT also they have deployed, we can have some AI based defense mechanism systems which can regularly collect the data, especially for the services like ISP, internet
okay.
service providers, because
Providers.
systems are always prone to cyber attacks.
Right.
So we have to have systems which can all the time can collect the data, then analyze the data, then find the behavior patterns, then maybe detect some threats in advance, and
Right. Prevention. Right.
prevention is the important thing. And then
Right.
communicate those threats, share those threats with the others, so that
Right.
they also are aware about,
Ready for
they
it.
can
Right.
also take
Absolutely.
preventive measures. So this is
Right.
very important. And also another important thing, if we see any company, it's very important that we have to have education and awareness for the employees. See,
Right.
IT companies, telecom companies, people will know, but there are other companies, everybody is using data,
Absolutely.
everybody is digitizing the
Absolutely.
things. So, and more digitization, more and more AI coming into picture, it becomes very important that our users, our employees are actually well aware how to
Where?
safe internet, how to like, and our security policies of the companies, we should keep on updating them. Whatever regulatory
Right.
compliances are there, we have to abide by them. So I feel this is very, very important. Prevention is very important. We have to
Important.
keep updated systems. We have to keep on monitoring whether any device is weak in the network, which can
Right.
actually help to, which can lead to the attack,
Lead to a
lead to an
threat.
attack, or multi-factor authentication wherever possible we have to incorporate. So basically we have to employ more measures to, because
Tackle
new and
this.
new
Right.
vectors are threat vectors are getting deployed.
Absolutely.
It's like a police and thief game. You police becomes active, thief will become
Make it
proactive.
more
Think
active.
of some
Yes.
ways proactively, thief will think
So
something further top of that. So
right. So the way the way systems are being
yes,
enhanced. Similarly, the threats are also getting
yes.
enhanced.
So hackers are also becoming smarter and
Right. Very
smarter.
smart.
And
Yes. Yes.
it's not
Absolutely.
that only hackers are there from like online or commercial private groups which are doing these things. There could be state-sponsored
Absolutely.
attempts also. So we have to be very, very like secure from the point of view of safety of our nation, as well as sensitivity and safety and protection of our
Right.
data. So both
Right.
are
Right.
very important.
Very important. Absolutely, ma'am. And this is so eye-opening. And it's clear how much preparation and foresight are needed to
Yes.
tackle these cyber threats head on. The
See,
way
actually
you
now at
said,
least people are aware that these things are required. But still, so many ransomware attacks, so many hacking attempts are going on. They are not being reported also.
right, right, right.
So people are like, companies are handling on their own, especially
Own.
smaller companies where this awareness is not there. Secondly, see, these things need lot of money also, finances.
Absolutely. I was just about to say
So,
that.
so there are budget constraints also, and the company is more focused on their key core operations. They don't think
Operations.
about these things,
Right.
and they feel these can be tackled later.
Tackle later. Yes, yes,
So
absolutely.
it's very important to have
A solid IT infrastructure in place, I think.
solid
Uh, and
infrastructure,
risk
operations,
management
management. You have to continuously monitor
monitor.
terms. So that monitoring is very important.
Very
Monitoring
important.
and then taking action based
Absolutely. Just monitoring would not solve it.
is of no use.
Absolutely. So, Mrs. Gunjan, looking ahead in your career, what are some of the key areas you're most excited to explore in the future?
Uh,
And
yeah, please.
please, I was just continuing the question. Coming to the boardroom experiences or responsibilities, what roles do you see yourself taking on?
See, I have worked mostly in telecom field and some extent in IT.
IT.
And so now, if you ask me, honestly, I should be working in these two areas because I'm more familiar with them.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And
Agreed.
if you ask any new emerging technologies, so AI is the one in
Wow.
which I am very much interested.
Interesting.
And I would definitely want to take up some assignment which also handles AI.
AI. Okay.
So I that's what I feel. Ki it's better to stick to the things which you are more familiar with rather than
Familiar, and
new.
you are a champion of, actually, I think you are a champion in your field. You have such great experience. You've worked in different fields in the telecom industry, so I understand where you're coming from when you're talking about your
So,
vision for the future.
so it is easier for me to relate to those type of working. So not necessarily that telecom operations, anything to do with
Right.
telecom, it could be manufacturing, it could be
Absolutely.
so many support services also.
Right, right, right.
So it could be one of them. And nowadays, IT is invariably part of all
Everything.
everything. So,
Agreed.
so that goes without saying that
Right,
it
right,
cannot
right.
be there. It's-
Wow, wow. So that's really inspiring to hear about your future aspirations, ma'am. And it really speaks volume about the impact you'll continue to have in the years to come, the way you've already have till now. So all the best to you for the future.
Thank you.
Mrs. Gunjan, this is now a topic that that is everywhere, ESG, and it has become such a critical focus across industries today. So, how do you see the role of ESG evolving in the telecom sector, and what steps do you think companies should take to integrate these principles into their strategies moving forward?
Yeah, ESG is very important for everyone. And as far as telecom companies is concerned, if you take the E part of it, environment part of it, then the first thing which comes to mind is energy efficiency.
Right,
Because telecom is the field which is consuming a lot of power. Uh, only once first point, because the equipment consumes lot of power, large amount of equipment is deployed.
right, right,
Secondly, um, all the equipments mostly they need AC, and then that again consumes lot of power.
right,
So we
right,
have to really think of green energy wherever possible. In fact, now DOT installed few towers in different parts of the country, and normally operators installs them, but this time they were to be installed in rural areas. So
right,
out of its USOF project, they funded it and got it installed
right,
in the rural
right.
areas, and they insisted that the solar power must be there. So
Wow,
solar and power was installed, solar panels were installed in almost
right,
all the places. So that green energy is a very important thing. Wherever, in whatever way is possible, it has to be installed. Then secondly, the equipments which are installed, they all have to be energy efficient.
efficient.
Because unless we do that, it is very difficult to save the power.
Right,
And then the equipment generate lot of heat also. So for which we
right.
need AC, which in turn will generate
Uh,
more. So, in fact, these things are very important. Then maybe we could think of something like carbon credits, like green bonds, these type of things we can think
right,
to
right.
encourage the operators. Then replace the outdated equipment, which
Equipments,
again is consuming more power.
more power,
All these
right,
measures we have to take, like in telecom company or for any IT company,
any other, right,
any other
right, right,
company, because these
right,
are very important things which we have to do, because now with the amount of global warming which is going on, so we have to ensure that we make take efforts to have a safer environment.
right, right,
Then, secondly, social. If we go to the social aspect, which is again another very important thing. Now, we have to ensure that the digital divide, which is there in some rural areas or backward areas, or maybe in some remote terrains of the country, or
right,
any country if you take. So, we have to ensure like connectivity is improving in those areas. Now, with the satellite coming into picture, I feel this will
that'll be
to a greater
achievable.
extent.
Yes,
Yeah, it can be achieved to some great extent. So, and then we have to also see that there are some sections of the society, like youth, if they can be trained for
right,
better job opportunities,
right,
self-employment, then they can be trained in different fields. They can be trained in telecom related supporting fields. They can be trained in IT fields. They can be trained in any fields
anything,
which can
absolutely,
help them to get employment. Women empowerment, then women can be like, they have to be trained, because normally we find women take a back seat if you go to the rural areas or
Areas.
backward
Right.
areas. So we have to ensure that women are empowered, they are educated digitally.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
that is required. Then we have a section of the society which is uh, disabled, sort of like, I don't know the exact word to use for that, differently abled.
Differently abled.
Differently abled. They could be, that's a big category of people.
Right.
So we
Right.
have to do something to support them also, maybe to create some jobs so that they are not kept separated from the
Separate from
society.
the society. Right.
They are made a part of the society, so they have to be somehow trained in some way. Like, it depends of what kind of disability it is, so they can be trained. Then another thing which is very important, which I have also noticed, that there are very few women in the leadership positions, especially in telecom. So other areas also would be there, pharma and other areas also. Definitely, I'm sure there would be so many areas. That's why Government of India has ensured that in their corporate governance policy, that women directors have to be on the board. So these things are very much required. Women in leadership position, women in the board of directors. So that is very important, which we have to ensure.
Right. Right.
Then
Great. Wow, wow. And it's so
and
fascinating to hear your thoughts, ma'am. And the insights on how companies can embrace ESG are truly thought-provoking. You've
and
thought about every aspect of the society, and it's clear how much shift will shape the future of this shift will shape the future of the industry.
when you go to governance, then also then we have to ensure that whatever are the government guidelines, regulatory guidelines, compliances, the loyalties, fees, we should pay them in
We
time.
adhere to,
Then
right?
we should adhere to those requirements. Then we should have like a security policies or other policies, corporate governance policies, also CSR policies, which are updated
Right,
time to time.
right,
Then
right,
we should have data safety precautions in place. We should have because we have to ensure all the stakeholders' requirements are met. So we
met,
have to ensure proper security policies are put into place. We should have more insurance. We should have insurance against data thefts, insurance against these attacks. So these type of things, if we think, then I think that would be more
beneficial.
beneficial
And
to the
yeah,
company.
absolutely.
But
And
this is very important. But just now, before this interview, I was reading one news item in Times of India that I think every year they have some conference on ESG.
okay,
Now also they are planning a conference on ESG, maybe in July.
right,
And
right,
like for the especially for the companies now, AI is coming into picture.
right, right,
So with AI coming into picture, more and more jobs, as they say, are going to be lost.
right.
We have to think in those lines also,
Also,
because financial versus the human aspect, we have to make a balance.
balance of it. Absolutely, absolutely.
So these things
And
are very
with AI coming in, I think there will be more governance, guidelines that should be implemented and followed. So
important.
yeah, absolutely.
So AI
Great.
becomes a very, very vast field. So people don't know. There are no laws pertaining to AI so
AI,
far. So the AI systems are using data. So we don't know what is the IPR for that. Who is the owner for that data?
owner.
So many things are there. AI is an
Absolutely, absolutely.
things are
Like we
trained up.
we we blindly put everything in chat GPT, and
Exactly. So
recently we had that Ghibli trend, if you
yes,
remember.
yes.
People were left, right, and center putting their photographs on AI, and everything
Exactly.
is stored.
In fact, I also was so tempted. I was
Agreed. So was I.
like in my house key, I will also put. Then they said, better not. I said, that's why I have
Because
not put it
you
till
never
now.
know what the data is always there. It's not
Yes,
going
true.
anywhere. How can it be misused? We don't know.
No, true.
So absolutely agreed.
See, so many spam calls are there. How they are making calls? They all, this is all stolen
All
data,
AI,
all
absolutely.
stolen and sold data which they are using
Right,
to make
right, right.
calls.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Mrs. Gunjan, as someone with such an impressive career, I'd love to hear about your experience joining Directors Institute. What motivated you to take that step, and how has it influenced your perspective on leadership and governance?
Yeah. So I retired last year from the job and I was enjoying. So, but sometimes I used to feel that I must do something.
Something.
Like, after learning so much, like gaining so much of experience, if what could be the way to share that experience
Right,
or
right,
utilize that experience? So, of course, I
right.
was considering options, and for 1 year there is a cooling off period, so I could not do
Okay,
anything also. So I
okay.
waste my time doing something else. But then one day on Facebook, I suddenly saw this ad of
Add.
this institute, and I thought, why not to give it a try? And so when I attended the webinar, I found it quite interesting.
Right.
I thought it could meet my requirements. Like
Mhm.
whatever I was thinking, it could help me in some way.
Right,
I thought of joining, and I feel till now, since the time I have joined, they are very, very thoroughly professional, and continuous interaction is going on with me.
right.
So far, I have not started the content,
Okay.
going through
Mm-hmm.
the content. So I really don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it is like, how further. I cannot comment on the further part of it, but the way I have seen the ads and read the references and the reviews, so I am sure that it is going to be a very, very interesting and enriching experience for me. And in fact, I am very, very thankful to Director Institute that they could come up with such good programs for people like us also. So, who are retired from the job. So, I think it's going to be a very interesting one, and it's going to meet my requirements for the future.
Wow, and it's so great to hear your your thoughts on this, and I really hope and wish that whatever you are aiming to achieve from this course, you're able to do that. And it is also inspiring that you, having such a vast experience, are still open to learning more things and contributing more to this to the industry, to the society. So that's really really inspiring, ma'am, and all the best to you for whatever you want to achieve in your life.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So, with that, we've come to an end of our podcast. Thank you so much, Mrs. Gunjan, for sharing your incredible insights and experiences with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure hearing about your journey and the challenges you've overcome and your vision for the future. Your perspective on leadership, governance, and the evolving telecom sector is truly inspiring.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So actually, I feel privileged that I got a chance to have this interview with you and to share whatever experience I have got. And see, what I learned in life, I have tried to share with you. And not only this, I feel gaining experience and thing. Other than that, more than that is required is your correct attitude.
Right,
If
right.
you have a positive attitude in life, then I think anyone can do what I have done. So I feel nothing great. There would be the.
Ma'am, you're being humble here, and thank you for sharing your journey with us. And I'm sure our audiences, whoever will be watching this interview, will gain a lot of understanding and insights on how to, move on with their leadership and their career journey. So thank you for sharing that with us. And for our audience, thank you for tuning in to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute. Be sure to subscribe and stay connected for more stories from top industry leaders shaping the future. Until next time, take care and keep leading with purpose. Thank you.